When you play warm wrestling, you can win or you can lose. But what really makes the difference is the strength that makes us win. Subscribe, ring the bell, leave a like. Okay, may the best man win. Jeff Bezos needs to make up for some time and of positions in the standings. After 3 undisputed years as the richest person in the world, he's been overtaken by a man whose net worth was only a quarter of his 7 months ago, and his closest rival on Twitter. According to Bloomberg, Elon Musk, the founder of the electric car company Tesla, has officially become the richest man in the world on Friday. He now has a net worth of over $194 billion, an increase of $150 billion in just 12 months, and, above all, $11 billion more than Bezos. His low-profile response on Twitter? How strange. Well, let's get back to work. Musk knows that there's still a lot to play in the competition between the Sangfroid of speculative funds. That started by opening an online bookstore from his garage, and that he recently turned 57, and the visionary boss of Tesla Motors with a pop star girlfriend. The two have conflicting public personalities, but have a lot in common. Both were gifted children with a passion for science fiction, which they then apparently materialized by launching their own space travel companies. This, needless to say, was the subject of a decades-long feud. So who will win? It was a record year for both leaders. Bezos last year added $13 billion to his assets on July 20th, believed to be the largest single-day gain ever recorded in the history of business. While it is believed that Musk's fortune quadruplication over the past 7 months to be the fastest accumulation of wealth in history. Bezos, a former hedge fund employee, launched his empire in 1994 after reading that the web had grown by 2,300% in 1 year. But are we sure that we all know his true story and the ingredients that led him to today's fortune? He opened an online bookstore called Cadabra in his Seattle garage and later changed its name to Amazon in an attempt to make his bookstore the largest bookstore in the world. The value of the company has exceeded $1 trillion for the first time last May. He has a 10.6% stake, but now let's come to its competitor for a moment. Musk's rise to millionaire has been more difficult. He moved to the United States from South Africa at the age of 24, and he founded a technology company, Zip2, a sort of online Yellow Pages, with his brother in 1995. Musk affirms that they were so poor that they couldn't afford an apartment, slept in the office, and they lived with just $1 a day, buying hot dogs and oranges in bulk. As they say, from the stables to the stars. 4 years later, they sold Zip2 for $300 million. And 2 years later, Musk sold his company PayPal for $1.5 billion in 2002. The same year, he founded the SpaceX aerospace company, joined the electric car company Tesla as designer in 2004, and became its managing director in 2008. Musk has never accepted a salary from Tesla. He owns 20% of the Tesla stock. That last year had increased 8 times when the company overtook Toyota and became the most precious automaker in the world. His stock went up 6% after the Democrats' victory in the Senate, with the hope that Joe Biden will grant tax breaks to electric car owners. Bezos' real estate portfolio includes a ranch of 300,000 acres in Texas with a rocket launcher, a $58 million mega home on Fifth Avenue in New York with a golf simulator, and its current home, a textile museum complex that cost $25 million. Last year, he paid $165 million for the most expensive home in Los Angeles, previously owned by DreamWorks founder David Geffen, and made the same wood floor as Napoleon had proposed to Josephine. But let's go beyond the material possessions, how he spent his money, and how he continues to spend it. He has donated millions of dollars to support gay marriage, immigrant rights, and he supported initiatives to donate homes to the homeless. But critics say his philanthropy isn't at the height, in proportion to all his money he has. Last year, the donation of only $690,000 to the numerous forest fires in Australia has been described as miserly, and Bezos has always captured criticism of the press for not having signed the initiative from Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Musk, meanwhile, spent $100 million on 6 adjacent properties in Bel Air, California. and a building near his SpaceX headquarters in Texas. But last year, he tweeted he was selling almost all material possessions, choosing to focus on philanthropy and taking humanity to Mars. He said that he'll use half of his money to help the problems of the Earth by donating to charity associations for the environment and putting his own money, $20 million, at risk when Tesla was on the verge of bankruptcy in 2015. He pledged to spend the other half, help establish a sufficient city on Mars to ensure the continuation of life, of all species. Bezos was the first to launch his own rocket company, Blue Origin, in 2000. He dreamed of allowing millions of human beings to live in space on affordable shuttles for a price of $200,000 per passenger, less than half the price of Musk's estimated cost of $500,000. Musk's aerospace dreams are centered around Mars. Tesla's chief founded his own exploration company, SpaceX, in 2002, and since then, the battle between the billionaires has gone intergalactic. Clashing on rocket size, even if billions apart, Bezos wins. The exclusive use of NASA launch platform, Musk wins. And being the first private company to put a person into orbit, Musk wins again. But let's investigate more about the lives of these two billionaires, or masters of the world. Bezos was born in New Mexico in 1964 to teenage parents who divorced when he was 17 months old. His mother's new husband, Cuban immigrant Mike Bezos, adopted him when he was 4, and he has 2 brothers and sisters. 7 years later, in 1971, his competitor Musk was born. 49 years old, born in Pretoria, South Africa, from a rich engineer, pilot and sailor father, and from a Canadian dietitian and model mother. He also has 2 brothers. His parents divorced when Musk was 9, and he went away from his father. Musk affirms that he physically and verbally abused his mother and later had a son with his stepdaughter, 40 years younger than him. Musk describes his father as evil, but remains close to his mother, May. Both showed signs of brilliance from an early age. As a child, it's said that Bezos had disassembled the crib with a screwdriver and built an electric alarm system to keep his brothers out of his room. Did you know? He completed his studies majoring in computer science in Princeton. Musk's genius doesn't stop there either. After Tesla electric cars, SpaceX capsules, and Neuralink brain chips, now imagine a world interconnected with his train. In reality, it's a creation that comes from a classic science fiction show, which was inspired by the suggestions of pneumatic mail, finally teased from Matt Groening's Futurama. In the cartoon, to travel in the tubes are not letters, not trains, but people. The prototype is winning the favor of the American Congress, as well as copious investments from the sultans of the Emirates. Each capsule would be perfect for social distancing. But Hyperloop is not meant to carry only a few people. Multiple mini-trains could travel simultaneously in the same tubes without the risk of touching each other, and the shorter time spent traveling distances would allow far more trips. We'll see if it turns out to be a failure or not. Meanwhile, Virgin Hyperloop hopes to be able to put into market its train by the end of 2021 and is building a 9.6-kilometer test track in West Virginia. Bezos' analytical approach extends to dating. Working in a hedge fund in New York, he has taken ballroom dance lessons in an effort to increase his flow of women. After, he met the Princeton graduate and future novelist Mackenzie Scott when he interviewed her for a job. They announced their divorce in January of 2009, saying they had decided to continue life together as friends. But the illusion of a friendly breakup was shattered when leaked texts between Bezos and journalist Lauren Sanchez, who became a helicopter pilot, were published, along with allegations of a relationship. Bezos and Sanchez later confirmed their relationship. Scott maintained a dignified silence, but dropped the Bezos surname and signed the promise of donation after remaining with a quarter of Bezos' stocks in Amazon. It is estimated that in 2020, she had given $6 billion to charity. Instead of talking about the future projects of Bezos, it must be said that he too has been busy. After 5 years of tests and tuning, with a year of delay compared to plans, he has finally opened Amazon Go to the public, Amazon's first physical store without a cashier, where shopping is almost as easy and convenient as it is online. Just enter the store, take what you need from the shelves, and leave. The purchases will be automatically charged to your Amazon account. Convenient, isn't it? Yes, and according to Amazon, also extremely safe. The technology put in the field by the Seattle giant seems to be foolproof. We'll not be charged for 2 yogurts if we only took 1. But also thief-proof. Shoplifters and various thieves will have to contend with a highly efficient digital supervisor who will not escape any suspicious behavior. A reporter from the New York Times tried, after asking Amazon's permission, and failed to steal a soda by walking out of the store with the soda in his bag. Ultimately, it was charged to his account. In my opinion, the feud and the war for the trillion has only begun. We'll see some good ones. Where? Of course, only here on Entrepreneur Tips. Subscribe, activate notifications, like, and share to never miss a single video and stay updated. And remember that business never sleeps. See you soon.